memorial is being held tonight for a 12-year-old boy who was shot and killed in Chula Vista. Good evening, I'm Jesse Pagan.
I'm Carlo Chiquetto. The shooting happened Saturday morning near his family's home. News 8's Elizabeth Sanchez is in Chula Vista, where friends and family are paying tribute.
The boy's friends and family set up this makeshift memorial for the 12-year-old. Police say they got a call around 9 a.m. Saturday morning about a shooting outside of his home. From the messages and letters left near the 12-year-old boy's home, you can see just how loved Max was. Max's family did not want to talk on camera, but his mother told us she had just registered her son for 7th grade at Hilltop Middle School. He had recently celebrated his promotion from Rogers Elementary School. When Chula Vista police arrived on scene on Saturday, they found the 12-year-old boy with a gunshot wound on the sidewalk. Max's family was home at the time, and they were the ones who called for help. Medics transported the boy to the hospital, and despite performing life-saving measures, he died.
We met him a few times.
The news of the death saddened those in the neighborhood.
We don't know for sure what really happened with the boy, but we knew him, like seeing him around the neighborhood. My kids played outside here all the time, and it's a quiet neighborhood.
Officers say they detained and questioned a 15-year-old companion of Max's, but later released him. Friends of the family told News 8 they believe the 15-year-old brought the gun to the home.
We don't know exactly what happened, so we just, sad for him, you know. We don't know about what's going on in the neighborhood at all.
Throughout the day, friends continued to leave things at the wall that read, "Long live Max." The boy's mother stood close by as friends came to console her. The Chula Vista Police Department is still investigating the incident and say anyone with information should call the San Diego County Crime Stoppers. Elizabeth Sanchez, News 8.
Now, while fireworks shows dazzled San Diegans across the county last night, they may not have been as entertaining for our pets. Today, July 5th, is usually the busiest day of the year for U.S. shelters. The San Diego Humane Society says so far today it's taken in 80 stray pets. 56 of them are dogs. It says many ran away during holiday celebrations and expects to rescue more pets. The shelter adds if your pet is not in their care, reach out to members of your neighborhood online.
If you're part of a neighborhood Facebook group or Nextdoor group, those are usually really fast ways of finding your dog and reuniting with your pet.
For a link to the Humane Society's Lost and Found section, you can go to CBS8.com and click on the help button.
A couple of people on a scooter hit by an SUV early this morning are in the hospital. They were left behind seriously injured by the driver of the SUV who just took off. It happened just after 4 this morning in the East Village. Police say a 22-year-old man and a 21-year-old woman were riding the same scooter eastbound on Market Street when the driver of an SUV coming toward them tried to make a left turn onto 13th and hit them head-on, then left them injured in the street. Both victims suffered broken bones. They are expected to survive. Police are looking for a white Eddie Bauer Edition 1997 Ford Explorer. If you have any information, call them right away.
Tonight, our beaches are a lot cleaner than they were early this morning after the party ended.
Hundreds of volunteers fanned out and got to work. News 8's Sean Stiles shows us the big cleanup effort.
It may be the 5th of July, but boy, I'll tell you, these crowds look like the 4th of July. As you look up the coastline, the big cleanup from the Surfrider Foundation took place this morning. It's called the Morning After Cleanup.
We like to see a clean San Diego, and it's nice to see people having fun, but it's a little sad to see how messy people can be.
Today's beach cleanup, brought to you by the Surfrider Foundation and a group of their friends, is called the Morning After the 4th of July, cleaning up the beaches.
Today we hosted 6 different sites with help from I Love a Clean San Diego and the San Diego River Park Foundation.
Over 500 people showed up collecting nearly 1,000 pounds of trash.
I think as long as we've been doing beach cleanups in San Diego County, we've been organizing July 5th cleanups just because this 4th is such a popular beach day, and the beach is the best place to celebrate any holiday, in my opinion.
For Katie and Arian Madani, this is a family effort to get out there and keep beaches clean.
It's fun, it's relaxing. You might be reluctant at first, but it's a good way to get out, and you know, it's by the beach, it's a beautiful view.
Yeah. And you appreciate the beach more.
Just up at Crystal Pier, there was another cleanup taking place.
I'm a paddleboarder, so I'm out in the ocean a lot and see a lot of trash. We pick up a lot, so it's just real important keeping the ocean clean and the environment clean. We're just here to support and to make sure that we keep our oceans and beaches as clean as possible and the animals safe.
Back in 2019, 3,900 pounds of trash were collected, but that included cleaning up parts of San Diego River.
Compared to previous years, 2019, 2018, this is the lowest total pounds of trash we found, at least, in probably 5 years. We're reporting 998 pounds right now. So I think San Diegans should be proud of the progress we've made, our beaches.
But it's going to take all of us working together.
We got to do our part, we can't just think that leaving one thing behind isn't a big deal, because it all does add up.
Surfrider Foundation thinks San Diegans did a good job, but they still want that message to get out to everyone. Whatever you bring down to the beach, packing in, make sure you take it back home with you or leave it at the trash receptacles. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Sean. Gas prices in San Diego County are now the highest we've seen in more than 7 years. The average price of a gallon of gasoline rose to $4.28, a number we haven't reached since May of 2014. It's gone up just over a nickel in the past couple of weeks. That includes that half-cent rise in the state's gas tax that took effect last week. We're now paying $1.17 a gallon more than we were 1 year ago. Firefighters are making great progress against the Isabel fire. At last check, it was 76% contained. The fire started Saturday just before noon on State Route 79 in Santa Isabel. CAL FIRE says a motorhome fire spread to brush on the side of the road. It's burned at least 173 acres, and at one point, about 40 people were evacuated, but they're now back at home.
Meanwhile, the tumbleweed fire in LA County has burned about 1,000 acres of grass near the 5 freeway in the Gorman area. That's in the northwestern part of the county, about halfway between LA and Bakersfield. No damage has been reported, but evacuations have been ordered in the Gorman Park area. At last check, the fire is 10% contained.
Tens of millions of Americans celebrated the nation's 245th Independence Day over the weekend, including President Biden.
The president and top administration officials also used the holiday to push more Americans to roll up their sleeves and get vaccinated.
As Skylar Henry reports, the more infectious Delta variant is spreading in all 50 states.
Parades, packed beaches, family barbecues, and fireworks. Millions of Americans across the nation gathered over the weekend for a 4th of July that looked much different than last year's.
Today, we're closer than ever to declaring our independence from a deadly virus. That's not to say the battle against COVID-19 is over.
President Biden hosted a celebration of around 1,000 frontline workers, service members, and their families, his largest since taking office. During the event, he sounded the alarm on the rise of the more contagious Delta variant, which now makes up more than a quarter of all new COVID cases nationwide. California Governor Gavin Newsom tweeted Monday it is now the dominant strain in his state.
The best defense against these variants is to get vaccinated.
So far, around 67% of all American adults have received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine, just shy of the president's July 4th goal of 70%.
We still have hundreds of Americans dying every week of this disease. 99+% of them are people who are unvaccinated.
The White House says it's prepared to mobilize surge teams to parts of the country with higher rates of vaccine hesitancy. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
The president's chief medical advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says the approved COVID vaccines are highly effective against the Delta variant. But this past weekend, Dr. Fauci also said fully vaccinated Americans in areas with higher infection rates and lower vaccination numbers may want to consider keeping on and wearing a mask.
14 of the city of San Diego's public library locations will reopen to in-person services tomorrow.
The Central Library downtown is among a dozen that have already reopened. According to the city, the reopening branches will be limited to 50% capacity, Monday through Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. For a full list of the reopened branches, you can go to the help button at cbs8.com.